to start the pant, I'm going to open up the fabric again and fold it into two. So guys, the first thing I'm going to do is to fold the fabric into two, right? I folded it this way, and I want the pant, the short length, I want it to be around 16 inches when I'm done. And I'm going to be using 2 inches for my band. The length of my band is going to be 2 inches. So what I'm going to do here now is to work with about 15.5, right? So I'm going to mark 15.5 here for the length, and this 15.5 that I'm marking here, remember this 15.5, I included the 1 inch for folding the end and then the ½ an inch for attaching the band to the top. So if I subtract that one, I added 1.5, so if I subtract that 1.5, I'll be left with 14. So if I add back that 2 inches for my band, I'll get back my 16 inches that I'm working with. So the next thing, so the hip I'm working with is around 46. So divided by 4 is going to give me 11.5, right? So I'm just going to mark the 11.5 here. I'm not going to add any extra seam allowance for the hip. The whole seam allowance is going to come in from the back of the pant. So the next thing you're going to check is the crotch length. So the crotch I'm working with is about 10. So I'm going to come down by 10 inches here. Mark it because it's going to be high-waisted, right? So mark it here and then curve it this way. So you make sure that this part here you have about maybe 1.5 and then extra ½ an inch for the seam allowance here. So that's the inch I have here. That's the length of this part here. So I'm going to add it and then mark. So this basically is for cutting the front of the pant. So guys, this is the front. So this is basically the front panel of this pant here. I didn't do anything on the waist because if you look at the picture closely, you will see that it has elastic at the back and band in front. So I'm not going to touch the waist of this pant. But later I'm still going to make a video on how to make the type of pant that has a zip in front. This one is going to just have elastic at the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place this here. So now I'm trying to cut the back panel. And to cut the back panel, what you're going to do is to fold your fabric into two again, right? So I folded my fabric into two this way. So place the front panel on the pant, and then you make sure that you have about extra 3 inches from here. If you're smaller, maybe 2.5 will work for you, but I'm working with a large, so 3 inches from this point here. So that's 3 inches from the point where the front panel stops, right? So I'm going to mark it here, and it fits in here. So the 3 inches fits in on this line here. The next thing you're going to do is to mark 2 inches, right? This 2 inches is now going to be the seam allowance for the side, for the 4 sides of the pant. That's ½ an inch on each side. So that's what I'm adding here. So 2 inches, the 2 inches is where the seam allowance is going to fall in. So I'm going to mark 2 inches all the way. That's 2 inches from the end of this pant here is what I'm marking. So place the tape here and mark the 2 inches all the way. Right, so I've marked my 2 inches all the way down. So now I'm going to give it a curve down to join this 3 inches line here. So this is now the new crotch for the back of the pant. The next thing you're going to do is to come up on this line, right? This is where my front pant is here. This is the length here. So from this point here, you add about 2 inches here. 2 inches here. That's because you have your butt at the back, so it takes up more length. So the back of your pant is supposed to be longer than the front of the pant. So I'm going to add, and remember this is going to be your center back of the pant, right? So I'm going to add 2 inches here, and then the next thing you're going to do is that's 2 inches of length is to blend it in to this line, right? If you have a ruler, just blend it into this angle here. So it blends in coming down to the side of the pant, right? So I'm going to blend it in. So you see, I've blended so it's now the same length on the side, but the center back is longer. So you see what I'm doing here. So now this basically is for the back of the pant. I'm going to cut it out. So guys, as you can see, this is the back of my pant and this is the front of the pant here. So the next thing I'm going to do to the front of this pant now is to come in by about 3.5 inches. That's for the pocket, or you can make it about 4 inches here and mark the 4 inches here. So this is where my pocket is going to fall in, and then maybe come down by 5 inches here on this side on the length, and then connect these two together. Or you can make it wider just to make sure that your hand fits in. You can know where your hand fits in and then mark it here. Maybe yours might be about let's say maybe 4.5 by 6 inches. You can do that also. And then this is going to be your new you're going to cut this out so that you can put your pocket in here. Or you can also do the type where the pocket comes in on the side, right? Just fix the pocket in on the side, but I'm doing the one where the pocket comes in like in front of the pant, so because that's what's on the picture. So the next thing you're also going to do is, if you look at the picture closely, you will find out that it has a pleat, right? It has a pleat. Let me mark this so I don't confuse on the other side of the pant too. So it's going to fall in here also, and it's also going to fall in on this side too. So the next thing you're going to do now is to give it the pleat that the pant has. So for me, the next thing for me, I'm going to mark about you can use your nipple to bust point measurement, which for me is 8 divided by 4, that's divided by 2, that's 4. So plus extra half an inch. The half an inch for seam allowance on this side is you add it here, and then you mark this point here. So this is where my pleat is going to fall in. So guys, as you can see, this is what the pleat looks like. So basically what you're going to do is to this is the pinch of fabric that you're supposed to use as your darting, right? So normally when you pinch out this almost about 1 inch at the waist, you dart it down all the way. But if you look at the picture, you see that instead of darting, they just pleated it. So if you open it up, it looks like this. But what you're going to do is to just fold the fabric this way and place it on itself, right? Fold it this way, pinch it this way, and fold it on itself. That's instead of the one that you pinched out for the darting, you just fold it, bend it over, facing the pocket. So, and then you hold it down with pin. So the next thing I did is to go ahead and cut out the mark that I made for the pocket. So this is the space for the pocket this way, right? So the next thing is to cut out the piece that you're going to be, I'm using lining for this because I don't want it to be bulky inside of the pant. But you can always use the same fabric as the pocket. So what I'm going to do now is to take this piece here, put it this way, right? Put it this way. I just cut out enough to cover up the space. So I'm using about 10 inch by 7 inches, right? So the next thing you're going to do is to put it this way and then trace out this same pocket on it, right? So I'm going to trace out this same pocket on it and then cut it out. So guys, and if you see, the pant is getting that boxy look because that's the look that the pant came with. They didn't shape the bottom. If you look at the picture closely, you see that it looks almost boxy. So this is what it looks like. I've attached the two center together. So this is what it looks like. I've attached it here. So what I'm going to do now is to take the pocket on this side and this piece that I have here, go ahead, stitch it this way. Right, this is the right side of the pant. This is the front, the right side of the fabric. I'm going to take this pocket here, stitch it this way, just stitch it all the way and then fold it in. So this is one layer of the pocket, right? So let me say it again. Take it, stitch it this way, take this one here, stitch it this way, and then you flip it in. So guys, I also cut the same piece of fabric, the same length and width of fabric as this one here, right? I also cut it on the main fabric, but this one that I cut, I'm not going to be cutting out this piece again. This is going to make up for what I cut out. So when I'm done, I'm going to, like, when I go to the sewing machine now and sew this part close, I'm going to tuck it in, right? Let's say I've done it now and tucked it in, right? Tucked it in on the inside this way, right? I've sewn it and I've tucked it in. It looks something like this. This edge is folded, right? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take this pocket here, the other end of this, to cover it. I have two of it, so one for each side. So this one is going to go on this side, and then I'm going to make sure the right side is facing me, like the right side is still up as the right side here. So put it in here, make sure the lines are equal, right? Make sure you fix it in properly, and then you just close up this end here, right? Remember, by then you must have sewn this close, right? This is sewn in this way, right? And then you close up this side and then stitch it up on this side. So now you have this piece back again. So you have your complete fabric back again. So now you have the pocket in, and when you're done, you just go in, close up this side, attach this to this, like attach the main fabric here, the main pocket, you attach it, close up here, close up the side. So now you have your pocket inside of the fabric. And attach the two sides. So once you finish the pockets for the front, you attach the back of the pants, fold the end, attach the crotch area, and then I cut about 5 inches width of fabric, use it as my band so that I can be able to pass this 1-inch elastic through it. So I'm going to be passing elastic at the back, but I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to finish up the front. So to finish up the front, if you have the white stay, you can iron it in. If you don't have it, then you can fold your fabric on itself. So I have about 6 inches width of or 7 inches width of fabric. So I'm going to fold in the end, and then fold it this way. So this is going to be my band, and I'm going to attach it. Just put in this fabric, put in the pant into it, and then sew it all the way down to the end. So that's going to be my band in front. If you want, you can make your band even bigger, but just bear in mind that if you make the band in front bigger meaning lengthwise, then you should also increase the band at the back. So after that, you pass your elastic, right? You might use elastic maybe half your waist because it's just for the back. The elastic doesn't get to the front. You might use half your waist measurement and then pass it at the back all the way through the loop, and then close up this side and then also close up this side, right? By then you've already attached your band, so you just close up the two sides from the inside. So that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.